Jim?
Okay, John. Well, that's true, and what you described is a common way to teach bunker shots, which would be opening the face, outside, cut across action. Now, the problem with that type of swing is for our normal basic bunker shot, not the short one, but the basic bunker shot that we're talking about, 60 feet or so, is that most people don't have the strength to get the ball out that far. They don't have the swing speed. The other thing, when you open the face that much, most people are going to be trying to hit very close to the golf ball, and that is a huge problem. To me, the worst thing that can happen in a bunker shot is to strike the golf ball first. And we know what happens when you hit the ball first. It's going to soar over the green and go into a worse place than we were right now. It's an automatic double bogey and usually worse. So I want a system that is going to give me a bigger margin of error. So the entry point for a proper sand shot is about 3.5, 4 inches behind the golf ball, so that we're not trying to hit right next to the ball.
Jim, show us a shot here.
All right, well, I'll demonstrate one. I'm going to be just a hair open, but for an average normal player, they don't need to be this much open. And I'm only open maybe 5 degrees off the target line. My face of my club is pretty square, aiming right at my target. And then I'm going to just get the golf club up. I'm going to try and hit 3 or 4 inches behind it. I'm going to let the club do a lot of the work. And we're going to talk about this quite a bit more.
Beautiful.
Now that time you can see where I entered the sand just inside the line. So that gives me a margin of error. When I'm trying to hit 3 inches or 4 inches behind the ball, if I happen to hit 2 like I did there, I'm still okay. Still hit a pretty good shot. Or I could hit 1 inch. I could also hit 5 or 6 inches behind it and come out. And that's because of the way we design the golf swing. So what I'm looking for, John, here is a number of things, including ball position, how tight I hold the club, which we're going to cover as we go through this, but also important things like turn, making sure that you turn your shoulders to get some power. A huge mistake would be to just lift the golf club up or drag it low to the ground. We need to make a good shoulder turn, and we need to finish through to the target.
So it's almost like a normal golf swing.
It really is, John. I like people to assume that they're playing maybe a fairway wood shot, where they're playing the ball just off the inside of their left heel, certainly in front of center, that your hands are about even with the club head, they're not leaning way forward, that you're nice and balanced with your weight, if anything your weight a little more to the left, and then trying to make more of a normal golf shot and allowing the club to do the work. In this segment, we're going to discuss the 3 death moves in a bunker. 3 things that you must not and cannot do in a bunker. If you do one of these mistakes, you're going to be in bad shape. So, John, let's go through them.
Jim, I know the first death move is tight grip pressure. Tell us how you get somebody out of tight grip pressure.
Well, tension is an absolute killer in golf, and it's an absolute killer in the bunker. So we must have a lighter grip pressure in the bunker than actually we do almost in any shot in golf. Even before I get into the bunker, right here as I'm approaching my shot, as I walk in, I try to always remember to relax. I want my shoulders to be relaxed, my arms to be relaxed, and my wrists and hands to be soft and relaxed. So as I come in, remember, tension kills the swing. Play with a light grip pressure, soft arms.
Okay, let's go into the second death move, Jim, and that's kind of ball position, or the ball position being back in the stance.
Okay, if this is a straight line to my target, if I get the ball back in my stance, that usually leads to my hands more ahead or the shaft leaning more toward the target. Now the main problem with that is as you do that, the club leans forward, it takes the bounce off the bottom of the club. And now you no longer have a sand wedge, you're back to a pitching wedge, or you have a club like the rest of the clubs in your bag. You don't have any bounce on the bottom of your club, and you've created a digger. And that club is going to stick in the sand and dig too low into the sand. So instead of that, we want to get our hands more even with the club head. Always place the ball to the center of your stance or more forward. The better the player, the more forward they're going to play their bunker shots, and that will allow you to easily hit behind the ball, which we must do, and allows the club to slip under the golf ball because it has the bounce on the bottom of the club.
Great. Our third death move is a low or inside or a short backswing. Tell us about that one, Jim.
Well, why don't you come in here, John, and take a swing here, and I'll kind of walk in and talk about this. When the club goes back low and to the inside, it does a couple of things. Many times it will block your arms so you can't get the club up, may not get the club face open either. When you take the club back low like this, the next move to get power will be to move with your body. And that's almost always a guarantee that you'll hit the ball first. So instead of doing that, as you take the club up, I'll sometimes put a club just behind a person like this, or take a rake and put it behind them, so they have to almost feel like they're lifting the club up. But it doesn't have to go to the outside. We want the club to go up high in the backswing, get the club hinged, and make a good turn so the club gets up and that you have enough power to hit the golf ball. Let me step in there again, John. Okay. To get into the correct position, get the club head up on the backswing. We didn't say outside, but make sure that the club head gets up so the weight is up above your hands, and that will allow you to use the weight of the club on the downswing to create a descending blow and get the golf club underneath the golf ball.